One of us usually would, sooner or later, would do some kind of a.
Don Knotts revealed the real reason. Each cast member left the Andy Griffith Show. I always assumed people left the Andy Griffith Show for the same reason. Bigger careers. Better money. Maybe they just wanted something different. But once I started digging into what really happened behind Mayberry's peaceful little streets, I realized almost every goodbye had its own story. Some walked away by choice. Some had no choice at all. And Don Knotts? His decision may be the one fans have misunderstood the most. It's funny how television can fool us. For millions of viewers, Mayberry felt permanent. Like those people would always be sitting on the courthouse porch, Floyd would always be cutting hair, Aunt Bee would always be fussing over dinner, and Barney Fife would somehow lose control of that famous single bullet. Nothing ever seemed to change. But behind the cameras, life was changing constantly. Friendships shifted. Careers took unexpected turns. Health problems appeared. And underneath all the laughter was far more uncertainty than audiences ever realized. Ironically, the man who made Mayberry feel the most alive almost never became Barney Fife in the first place. Before America knew him as Don Knotts, he was just another scared kid growing up in Morgantown, West Virginia. His real name was Jesse Donald Knotts. The image most people have of him couldn't be further from reality. He wasn't naturally confident. He wasn't the loudest kid. He wasn't even sure he belonged anywhere. What surprised me most wasn't that he became funny. It was why he became funny. Don's childhood wasn't simply poor. It was unstable. His father struggled with severe mental illness and alcoholism, making home a place that often felt frightening instead of comforting. Family stories even describe moments when young Don feared his own father. Imagine trying to grow up in that environment. It's no wonder anxiety followed him for the rest of his life. Being the youngest of 4 boys didn't make things easier either. His brothers were much older, and while some loved him deeply, the household carried its own share of pain. Then tragedy struck again. The brother Don admired most died unexpectedly from an asthma attack while Don was still young. That loss stayed with him. Looking back, it's almost as if comedy became his way of surviving grief before he even realized what he was doing. There's one detail about Don's early years I never expected. He invented an imaginary partner. Not because he wanted attention, because standing alone terrified him. That imaginary companion eventually became a ventriloquist dummy named Danny. Whenever Don performed at church gatherings or school events, Danny stood beside him. The audience laughed. And somehow, having that wooden partner nearby made performing a little less frightening. It's strange when you think about it. The man who would later entertain millions first needed a puppet just to feel brave enough to face a crowd.